In any relationship, and yeah, I say relationship because you're going to be ideally at the school for 4 years. That's pretty much a commitment. Now, there are two sides, what you want and what the other person wants. And it's gonna be the same thing for college too. I will totally be your friend who's standing there on the side like, bruh, girl, you could do better than that. Like, I'm not gonna let you forget what's most important to you, and that's what we're about to talk about right now. You're watching Journey with Jordana. I'm a college counselor helping you take your next step to getting into and through college. I don't want you to be miserable. So let's talk about what you want, because that'll also help you narrow down your list as well. So the things I'm about to mention, you might want to pick 2 or 3 that are most important to you and you want to check for at your colleges. Some things won't apply and some things will. But if it does, jot that down, because that's something that you want to look for in your colleges as well. For example, what size college or program do you want? Now, this question drove me crazy when I was applying for college. So I'm doing a whole nother video on that, but it's something you want to consider. Also, do you want to go to an urban school, one where you are enmeshed in the city? Like when you're walking to class, you're walking past apartment buildings and families and restaurants who have nothing to do with the school, but you're in the city. Or do you want a rural school where life is campus life, unless you love outdoor activities? Everything takes place on campus. You are surrounded by a cornfield. Or do you want a suburban school where the campus is outside of the city, but the city is a half an hour away by train or car or bus? And know this, some schools do a better job than other schools. For example, some students are bored out of their minds surrounded by cornfields, whereas others are like, being surrounded by cornfields is great. Like everything we need is on campus. Why would we ever want to leave campus? And then there are other schools who, for example, have no school spirit. It's like, because we're spread out across the city, there's no school spirit. And other kids are like, what are you talking about? Our city is all about our school. They come to our games. They come to our events. They put up signs cheering for us when we win. They offer student discounts. Like, it's a college town. They are all about us. And you'll find out which school is which as you talk to students and visit. And when you are on campus, pay attention to how you feel on campus. I mean, it's totally normal to feel nervous and a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, it's new and everything about it is different. You don't want to count it out because you felt uncomfortable. What you want to ask yourself is, can you see yourself growing into it? Some schools even have fly-in programs where they will pay for prospective students to be able to come to the campus and spend a weekend there. You can also visit colleges virtually. Other things to take in consideration would be what support services does the college offer? This will require a little bit more digging, but star the colleges that have what you want. Do they offer tutoring? What are those services like? Do they have orientation programs like summer bridge programs, particularly if they accept you based on your potential and it's an education opportunity program? But there's that uncomfortable jump between where you are and the standards of being in college. Will they help you make that jump? If you have an IEP, do they have disability services? What's their advising like? Who advises you from where? How do you sign up for classes? How do you register? Is it somebody in the major that you want who will be doing it? Is it a mentor? Do they have peer leaders? Do they have programs for first generation college students, meaning you are the first person in your family to go to college? Do they have programs for students of color, particularly if you're at an institution where it is a PWI, a predominantly white institution? Do they have any sort of supports there? If you want those kinds of supports and you're finding those kinds of supports, put a little S next to each one of those colleges and just remind yourself like what kind of support it is that they're offering. And also, and what kind of extracurricular activities do they have? Do they have sports, clubs, fraternities, sororities, things that you're interested in? Do they have those things there? What's their career office like? There's a range of different kinds of career offices. Here's another one. Are they conservative or liberal leaning? And which are you? Because that'll affect your comfort too. I mean, we're all evolving and diverse opinions can strengthen your convictions and stretch you. But at the same time, you don't want to be in an environment that's toxic to you. So you want to pay attention to things like that. Another question would be, how much do you and your family care about prestige? Like, are you and your family really into brand name colleges? Will they support whatever it is that you choose? Here's another one. Do most students graduate on time? It's really popular for colleges to put down their 6-year graduation rate. But if you plan to graduate in 4 years, then you might want to check that rate. You might want to find out, why is that the case? Because it might be something like, oh, most students are working and you're not working. So then you're like, okay, Well, that's why I'm fine. Or they're having an issue with advising and students aren't having the correct amount of credits in order to graduate. You would need to know that. My last one is location. Take a look at how far away the college is. Do you want to stay local in your city and your state? Or are you okay with going out of your state, out of your country? Think about the climate too, especially if you have seasonal affect disorder, that can affect your mood and your ability to do well there. And this is unconventional. Like, this is not the kind of advice other people are going to give you. Most people start with location, not end with location. But let me ask you something. If a college has your major, they have the support services you want, they have all the activities that you want, they're paying for you to come there and everything, are you gonna miss out on that because it's further than you plan to go? I mean, I know that homesickness is real and I know it's scary. And if you've never gone away from home, it can seem overwhelming, but isn't that something you can work on? Marian said, you can't be what you can't see. So maybe that's what's holding you back. You've never seen yourself being that far away from home. You've never been that far away from home. But if something is meant for your life that is beyond what you could ever ask or think, that your eye hasn't seen, your ears haven't heard anything like the opportunities that are before you, but it's prepared for you. So you have to buy a coat or get a fan. I don't think that should stop you. Location is important, but it's not the most important thing. Now, if you think I'm wrong, you can politely tell me in the comments, but I'm encouraging you to push past the fear and discomfort of being in a different location, especially if they're great opportunities for you. So those are all the things that you want. Pick the things that are most important to you and then rate the colleges on your list for how well they do at providing those things. And then we talked about the things that the colleges want, the grades, the SAT scores, ACT scores, the cost. You might want to enter all of that information into an Excel sheet or even create your own chart in your notebook for all you who are into like bullet journaling. Like, I'm sure you'll make these really beautiful handmade charts. Now, can you do this in a day? Sure. Maybe all day and all night. But how about 15 minutes? You don't want to spend all day. I know you're busy. You have so much work to do. There's so much going on. 15 minutes a day, you consider everything that we've just been talking about. And again, you're just keeping them in those sections. You list the pros and the cons of each college. You rank them as you go. And they're moving up and down in each one of those sections because that's going to make it a lot easier. It gets hard to remember how did I feel about that school? But as you go, if you just keep ranking them, it'll make it a lot easier to compare colleges in the end. And this is very, very important. Hear me, hear me, hear me. Please don't forget this. There are no soulmates in the college application process. So until they give you an acceptable financial aid package and you sign, there is no need to be monogamous. The goal here is for you to love every single college on your list. If you don't have anything listed next to that college, like none of the symbols that we talked about, there was nothing about it that you like, then it's not the college for you. And if you got into that school, it would be really hard to get excited about going there, because there's nothing to look forward to. You didn't find anything that you like about it. So once you have your list with all of your schools and all of your symbols and all of your notes and you're prioritizing what's most important to you, you can use that to narrow down your list until you have 2 to 4 colleges in each section. 2 to 4 colleges that are reaches, 2 to 4 colleges that fit as target matches, and 2 to 4 colleges that are likely or safety. And never, ever, 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 ever apply to a college that you don't love, even if you think, but it's a safety school based on the SAT and GPA scores, and they accept over 60% of the students. I have a really good chance of getting in here. This will be my backup school. If you don't love it, don't list it. You have so many options. There are so many colleges. You don't need to do that. If you do what I'm telling you and you do your research, you can love every college on your list so that when the results start coming in, everywhere you turn, you just like win. Like, everything is just going wonderfully for you because you love every school on your list. You can love your safety school as much as you love your reach school. If you don't love it, don't list it. Don't love it, don't list it. Don't love it, don't list it. Like, let that be the motto, okay? Don't settle early on because you will be settling in the end. And there are a lot of programs. They'll ask you a few questions, you give a few answers, and they will spit out this really long list for you. That is a great start, but you still need to do this. You still need to do your research. So, Start making your college list today is today's step. And that's it. So if there's anything in this video that helps you, give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching Journey with Jordana. I will see you soon.